all the way down. Okay. So it's one of the goodest tools that you have. If you still have the old Excel, trust me, you're not going to be able to do this. It's a handy tool. It's a time saver and makes you look good because in front of your boss. So we looked at that last week. So that's like number 4, because we looked at how to add columns, how to add rows, how to delete them, and then we learned this. And then the other thing that we learned was how to enter dates. So you do not have to type the date anymore. Why? If you're working in Excel, please don't type the date, especially if it's today's date, because you will make mistake, you'll confuse the date. All you have to do is, yes, Lawrence, great, you knew that. So for the date, you have to do, we are still on baby steps. So then here you get to say control, semicolon. So for the dates, if you're going to type the date, today's date, control semicolon, and you have the date, control semicolon. Please don't type the date anymore, just use control semicolon and you have it. And should you want to type the date, today's time, maybe today's date and time, so you can do control semicolon, you put a space and hold control shift semicolon, and you have the date and time of today. The time saver, and it just works perfectly. So for efficiency of data entry and having all your times, just use control semicolon and control colon to have the date and time. Okay, so that's pretty much a recap from what we did last week. Okay, so what can we do today? So one of the things that I mentioned was that we are going to see how can we remove blank rows. And plus one of the things that can give you a headache, control plus. So I've just added a couple of blanks. This data set goes all the way down, control plus. Now I think I should have shared with you this. So that let me just share it again. Let me just share this document so that, let me share with you this file so that you can use it when you're at your workplace. Sample file, there it is. So the file is there. So if you're on your PC, the file, I've sent a file, the file that I'm working with, you can in your time just try to play around with it to familiarize with these tricks that I'm putting up. This data is available data online from a fictitious company called AdventureWorks. We use it a lot for training. And if you are going to attend trainings online, you're going to find this kind of data set. Great. So I have, let me just go back. So if I'm here, I just want to go back all the way to A1. How do I do it? So you have control home. There's a home key. So control home takes me all the way to the corner. If I do control end, it takes me all the way to the bottom to where the data ends. So control home, I'm at A1. So if you use control with the down arrow, it keeps jumping to where there is a blanks. You can imagine there are so many blanks that I have put in here. They can be so nagging if you are working with a report. So how do you remove all these, especially if you have a huge data set and you don't want to go one by one? How do you delete this? So the trick is here. So you go to you highlighted the entire column. So I'm highlighting column A, and then just pull this down. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the place that you list go to, and the place is called find and select. So at find and select, you see there's an arrow down. So when you click on this, I want you to go to special. So this is a step that you're going to write. So highlight the column, one of the columns, then you go to find and select, click the down arrow, go to special, and then you look for the word blanks. Then you tick it. When you tick blanks, you see all the blanks have been highlighted. All the blanks in this sheet have been highlighted. So with those cells highlighted, the next thing that you do is that you come here to delete option, open the dialog box, and then you delete sheet rows. In other words, delete all those rows that have been highlighted. And with that, you don't have any blanks. You can see we have that bottom, all the blanks have disappeared. I hand the trick again, and you're going to find it a lot in your work as you try to delete things, here and there. Okay, kind of repeat, find and select. That's Amanya. No worries, Moya. You catch up anyway. Just pick what you can pick. Just know, like I mentioned, just imagine yourself learning at least every week you learn just one new thing. How is it going to look like at the end of the year? Okay, so let me repeat this. So Control Z. I can't. Okay, so let me just remove one for you. I have two blanks, so highlight the column. So this time round, I'm going to use a shortcut. So instead of going to find and select, you go to find and select, go to special and highlight blanks. So instead here, I'm going to use a shortcut, and the shortcut is Control G, Control G, Control letter G, G for girl, G for God. And Control G takes you to this dialog box, and just click here. Special takes you to the same place. Click blanks and click OK, they're highlighted. Go to delete, delete sheet rows. They've gone. Okay, so that's a trick. So trick number copying hidden cells. Copying hidden cells is also one of the things. So for instance, Peter, behave. Peter, you don't have, okay, perfect. Peter, you can type in the chat. You'll get what you are communicating. Okay. So I'm going to filter a department called, let's say, manufacturing, and I want to copy it and paste it somewhere. But I think it may not, because for me, I'm using Office 365. I don't know whether it will, but for lower versions, usually when you're copying hidden cells, everything comes. But let's try it anyway. So going to data and filter to get the filters here, that's a way that you know, but the other way that you can do it is if you just do Control plus Shift, hold Control Shift L, Control Shift L. Control Shift L is going to is able to give you these filter buttons. Control Shift L takes them back. Okay. For those of you who are going to do an advanced, who are going to join us for advanced training courses, what I just did has created a copy of this document called a filtered table. So when you're using a query and you're importing this file, you have to be very careful because you know that there is a filtered table behind it. So if you do not remove it, if you don't write a query to remove it, you will have these numbers doubled. Okay, so we will look at that when we are learning how to import data and transforming it. That one will be at a paid level. Okay, but I just want you to know that every time you apply filters, you've created another table behind the scenes. Okay, so Control Shift L, and you have these filters. So I'm going to remove to get to filter, and I need a column called manufacturing. So untick this and just do manufacturing. Manufacturing here. So I have manufacturing. Oops, there are many. Just get one which is this, maybe this. Yep, perfect. I have this. So you can see there are so many hidden cells, hidden rows inside here. Under normal circumstances, when you copy this, it's a Control C. Now you see there is. Let me go and paste it in another sheet. Control V for it to work, because I have an advanced sheet. For others, if you control it here, it has not worked. It has just done, I think, maybe the first row. You can see it has not picked it when I pasted here. So one of the ways that we do this is that once Control Z, where we are, Control Z again, Control Z for undoing. So let me just go up, Control up, arrow. You see it picked only this. So escape for stopping the copying. Just do this again. So if you ever copy, you want to copy only this and you paste it somewhere and it brings everything. So this is what you have to do. So just click anywhere and just Control A to highlight all, Control A to highlight all here. Then Control C for copying. And the next that you have to do is go back to the other place, the other hidden place where we go to select, special. Now this time around, you select this one, visible cells only. Okay, remember we said shortcut, Control G takes you to the same place, and visible cells only, copy. I'm going to paste it in another workbook. So to paste it in another workbook, to create a whole new workbook when I'm here, I'll just hold Control and letter N for new or for no, letter N. So I'm going to Control N. So Control N opens a whole new workbook that is blank and paste here. And when I paste, it just brings the other table. I just did Control V for pasting just the information that I had, copied. Okay, I am not sure that you saw the workbook which I pasted, because it is not a shared dashboard somewhere else. Okay, but if I added it here, you'll be able to see it. Okay. So if you saw that, you could type in the chat and say yes. I just want to make sure that we are all at par, same wavelength. Okay, so we've so far learned about four tricks. So now I say that we are going to learn how do you enter telephone numbers? How do you enter telephone numbers starting with 0, or numbers which start with 0? Let me just go in this document. Escape. Yeah. Control Shift L. So minimize this. I hope my screen is large enough. So let me just do this. Let me just add, let me just add, yeah, Control plus. So highlight these columns, Control plus. So I want to add a telephone. Let's say this is I want to give them numbers. Actually, I should have done it this side, Control plus. I just want to give these people numbers. I want to start with 00. 0001. It's a 3-digit number. Every time I try to do this, the zeros disappear. Okay, 0002, the number disappear. How can I have them as 000, and then the numbers disappear, stay there. So there are two ways. I promise that I'll teach you two ways of doing it. One is starting with a single quote like this. It's a single quote. Those are two quotes, a single quote, just one single quote. And then you type 000, they will stay. Okay. Then you single quote again, 0002, they will stay. So it's the same as typing a telephone number, 0702-478-611, the number disappears. But if I had typed with a single quote, what's happening? Single quote, 0702-478-611, the number will stay there. So that's a trick for entering numbers. But what if I had entered, I already have these numbers? This could be invoice numbers or maybe TIN numbers. Let's put one here. So I just want to put these numbers. So one of the tricks, you may not get this, you will get it another time. I just want to do a trick of getting these numbers from number 1 to 700. I just drag like this. I go to fill series, and I want to fill down in the column, and the stop number is 800. Let's see if it will work. 800. I selected columns. Yeah, that's it. I go all the way and I have number 800. How you do this? You drag here in the corner, instead of right clicking, you hold down the left click with the mouse, drag, take back, then it will give you series. I can even go all the way to let's say 1,000 or 10,000 or a million. Okay, and I'm in columns. So the moment I do this, if I go down all the way down to the end, you see I typed numbers all the way to 1 million. Control Shift up arrow to highlight everything and delete. Then Control Home to go back to where I was. So let me do it. 1, enter, right click, drag, take back up bit, series, columns. You can try it with a date. You do today's date, then you click columns, then here you put the end date that you want. So here I just want to put, I think the last is 700, I think. So I want to convert these numbers into, so let me add it here. So here we're going to use a formula. So you're going to just write this formula, then you will try it. So the formula is a text formula. Text, as you can see, a formula called the text, it converts a value to a text in a specific number format. So you either double click the blue one, or you click on tab, so double click. So this is the value that I want to convert into a number format. Put a comma. The format, I'll put it in double quotes, not single quotes twice, double quotes. And then I'll put, because I want a 4-digit number, I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be 0001. Then I close the quote with the double quote, close the bracket, hit enter, and you have your 001. Take the formula all the way down. So that becomes our trick number 4, number 5, something like that. Transforming text using a formula. So that's working with telephone numbers. Okay, I have all clear so far. Good. Okay, so then I had said that I'm going to show you how to create a drop down. So a drop down, maybe this is gender. So I want to maybe another trick I can teach you. Just want these names to be joined without these commas. The the fastest way that you can do it, just remove this comma. Just go to find, replace a comma with nothing. Just replace all, done. So then you have the names. But now here, you want to put male or female, and you just don't want to type it. You just want to find a drop down and pick it. And again, this trick, you can write it down. So I'm going to highlight a few cells for demonstration purposes. So highlight where you want the drop down list to go. Then you go to this magic icon, data. So this tab called data is where all magic happens. Most of the magic in Excel happens on the data tab. So then we will go to data validation. So this icon here, data validation. Data validation is a whole world of so many things that you can do. You can prevent things being typed in the sheet. You can track when a change has been done and all sorts of things. You can circle errors and all sorts of things. So data validation. So by default, data validation allows anything. But this time around, we want a list. We want a list. And instead of clicking a source, so the source could be if you have a list hidden somewhere. But here we are just going to type male, put a comma, and female. That's it. And I click OK. Like you can see, anywhere I click, I have male. So this is female. This is male. Sorry, this is male. Here all these are okay. Here female. So you can do this. This is how it works. A drop down. You can't hear me, Alan?
Yes.
Can you? Oh, fine. Someone was saying no audio. I thought you had lost me. Perfect.
No, loud and clear.
Maybe try increasing the.
No. I think I'm okay.
Increasing the screen.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we see, but when you type in those formulas, they are too small. The text
itself. Okay. So, do you want me to repeat? Or it's all clear? You guys want me to repeat this?
Yes, please repeat it.
Perfect. Okay, so Control Shift down. So let me delete this. So once you've put the data validation, let me start from there. Once you have put the data validation, you can't remove it by deleting. It's there. You can clear the still there. They are not going anywhere. Okay. You can only remove them maybe if you highlighted, if you deleted the column, they go. Okay. But so let me first show you how to do it. So let's put gender. So we want to highlight this. Let's just do this area. So go to the data tab. Look for data validation. So either look for data validation. If you have Office 365 or Office 2019, you may not see this word data validation, but you will see this icon of a tick and a stop icon. So what happens is once you have this, click on data validation. Now here, instead of any value, select list. Any value, select list. Then you come here in the source and type male, female. Now this can be anything. It can be a list of, let's say, 5 items or something. It can be yes, no, something like that. So once you have that, then you click OK. So once you have OK, then you can see you have the drop down everywhere. You have the drop downs everywhere. So 2 things I can show you here, 2 other tricks that I can show you on this. One is how do I remove them? How you remove them, go back to data validation. Now here, you see clear all, clear all. So you can even apply here, apply changes to all the cells with the same settings, and you can see it highlights it. Then you clear all. So once you clear all, they all disappear. So once I click OK, they go. But before I do that, sometimes you want the person who is going to enter the data to receive a message of what data they are going to enter here. So go to data validation. So you see there's input message and error alert. So input message you can type here, for instance, let's say, please select, I'm sure select from the list. Select from the list. Then you can go to the error. So for instance, if someone typed something which is funny, you can even type something funny like, are you mad? Are you nuts? Please don't do this. So you see, the pop-up comes. I hope you can be able to just see that pop-up. The pop-up comes and says, please select from the list. Someone can select from the list. But if, for instance, I decided and I type mail on my own, poof, the error comes and it's asking me, are you nuts? Okay, and I have the opportunity to retype and select from, oh, please remove. As you can see, and so has removed. So now I become sober and select, and all is well. Okay. So that's one of the tricks that you can pick. Let me now remove the data validation. The selection contains more than one type of data validation. Perfect. Okay. Clear all. So they are all gone. So last but not least, it's a trick that we learned last week. Let's say you want to put a new line. Just let me make it this bigger. So we have that quality assurance, but I want to write another word. I want to put product development under quality assurance in the same cell. When you use enter always takes you to the next cell. So if you want to do that, just instead of clicking enter, hold Alt and enter. Then you can type anything like creative, Alt again, plus enter. Then you type IT, and so on and so forth, and you can have new lines. So you can even write a paragraph, reach the end, Alt enter, start another line, like that, and what works perfectly. So I think in terms of, what we wanted to learn today in terms of the tricks of today, those are the number of tricks we've learned. Deleting loads, let me just pick my PowerPoint presentation and see if there is anything that I missed. If there's something that I missed, and we'll do it quickly. What we covered last week. Okay, create drop-down list, copying hidden, deleting blank rows, data entry of numbers starting with zeros, 2 ways. So those are the 4 key things. When you add them to some other tricks which came in between, you should have learned so far maybe like 8 things or 6. When you add them to what we learned last week, which were 6, those become 10 new tricks in your arsenal in just 2 sessions. Just 2 sessions. Give you me some of these actually, most of these tricks, you go to Udemy, you find they're actually what they are teaching you, paying loads of money to just learn these tricks that we've learned in just, and I think in 30 minutes, that's what we've been able to learn. So with that, I will entertain maybe about 5 questions. so that we hit midday and then we go back to our desks. So any question, and then I can answer those questions, and then we move on to something else. I have Moya. Moya, over to you.
I know I came late, but I'm happy to hear from what you have shared with us. And it has been a good message. Most times for me, I use SPS or data analysis, and the few tricks I've seen what you are doing in Excel is wow and amazing. You know, at times the works concerning data entry, and I see really Excel really works out well. And you know, SPSS most of the times more questionnaire. Most of the times I do questionnaire, data entry questionnaire for people with masters. And so when I saw this on email, I said, let me apply for it. And I learned a few tricks. And I've liked it really amazing, the way you plan the cells, hidden cells, and the way how you put in those tricks that you use like on the female and male, where you put those tricks. I like it. Then putting in male, female is automated. It's really amazing. Though I should have done it for a short time, but I really loved it for that short time that I've loved it. And also another thing, the recording that you are recording, I would love whether if the people who are hosting this meeting or you other people share with us on the email, so that in our free times you can also follow up and catch up as your students.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it has been really an honor, Mr. Rooney Arenaitwe. It has been an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Apologies, I forgot to rename myself.
Moya.
I forgot to rename myself. Okay, my name is Arthur Ronnie Arinitwe, and
Ronnie, okay.
I am a data ninja.
Data ninja. Yeah,
I'm proud to have a platform where I can unload the overflows.
Yeah. It's really amazing. Yeah. You know, most of the times people don't like using Excel. But once you give it time, you really learn it and love it. Most times people think it's so more of mathematicians, but it's amazing. The way I've seen the tricks you have used it there, it's amazing. Especially when I saw that entry, I was amazed, like, so this is how you can input in that entry. Most times for my times I use SPS, most of the time SPSS. Then I was like, I should learn this also.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So if you're using SPSS, I think Excel has gone way above SPSS, especially with Power Query. You can transform those data collection tools.
In fact, data collection,
in just a matter of seconds.
But this one
sorry, Topher, we lost you. Any other question from someone else? If you have a question, if you do not have a question, at the count of 5, we will be exiting. We'll be exiting the training room. And for those of you who registered for the training of next week, we hope to see you. The numbers were many. Some of you have wanted to register for the next class, but it's already full. Just keep your eyes in your email, and we should be able to see how we can work together to get you from where you are to the point, where you want to be. Okay. So with that, I will just feed you with the music that you found playing, and then we'll see you again next week. All right, next week on Tuesday. Yes.